to Joyful Jen Yoga. Today's practice is designed for soccer players. Now that being said, anyone who runs a lot or is an athlete in some other way might also really benefit from this practice, or anybody who finds themselves having tight hips, tight hamstrings, everybody. So I hope you enjoy. We'll get started on our backs. So on your back, take a moment to just hug your knees into your chest. Rock a little side to side. And then let your feet press down to the earth. Bring your soles of your feet together and let your knees separate. We'll pause here in what we call Supta Baddha Konasana, or reclined butterfly shape. Take your hands and make a little diamond with your thumb and index finger and just press that around your belly button. And as you settle down and invite opening through your inner thighs and your hips, feel your back body ground, feel connected to the earth, and start to draw that connection to your breath. Watch how on inhale your belly expands. Watch on exhale how your belly draws back towards your spine. Watching on inhale your belly press into your hands. Watching on exhale how everything draws back to center. You might even feel here your thumb and index fingers separate on inhale. And on exhale, feel them draw back together. Notice as you settle into this shape, if you feel your body holding tension. You might feel the tension around your hips, your neck, your shoulders. You might feel it even in your belly or your back. Can you use your breath to explore the spaces in your body that are holding? Invite softening, invite release. We'll take 5 more steady breaths here. See if you can commit to breathing in and out through your nose during this practice. Inviting more of a relaxation response in your body as you open, as you stretch, as you move and breathe. On your next breath in, slide your hands to the outsides of your thighs and start to help your knees back in towards center. Again, give your knees a little squeeze, maybe a little rock side to side. And then go ahead and plant your right foot on the ground. Send your left leg up to the sky. You can hold the back of your left leg if you'd like, and just start to point and flex your ankle. So dorsiflex, pull those toes into your shin, plantar flex, point your toes up to the sky. Notice how your ankle feels here. And then start to pull the toes into the shin. And then externally rotate your hip, turn your toes away from your body. Cross that left ankle over your right thigh. Now this might be plenty of sensation, especially not being warmed up, and you might move a little bit here kind of to explore how that left hip socket feels. And then if you'd like, you could hug the right knee into your chest. Now if you feel like this is way too much sensation today, just place the foot back down. You could take your hand and find your fingers and see if you could separate your toes with your fingers. It feels really weird. It's a nice stretch through the muscles of your feet. Sometimes I have to help one of my fingers in there. And then we'll circle out through the ankle. If you can't get your fingers in between your toes, don't worry about it. Just circle your ankle out, hold on to your toes in whatever way feels good. And then pause, circle in the other direction. press your toes in towards your shin again. And maybe that right thigh comes a little bit closer. Maybe the left hand presses the left thigh away. Explore and see if that seems appropriate in your body. Take another inhale. And exhale. Go ahead and release your fingers and then plant your right foot. Send your left leg up to the sky and give it a really nice shake. Just relax it all that holding, all that tension, and release the left foot down. Send the right leg up to the sky, and again, you can hold the thigh or just kind of let the leg rest. And start to point and flex that ankle. You might notice your toes pop or crack a little bit. And then draw your foot into dorsiflexion, toes pull in, and then rotate the hip, bend that right knee and cross that ankle over the thigh. Again, if this is where you're at, perfect. You might circle your ankle from here, but if you feel like you could use some more sensation, we'll hug that left knee in, not to our maximum amount of sensation, but somewhere in between. We'll take our left fingers and see if we can slide them in between your toes. I know it feels funny. It can really help stretch the muscles of your feet. And then you can start to circle the ankle around here. You might notice one ankle feels a little bit more mobile than the other. Maybe one feels a little bit more stuck. Pause, circle in the other direction. Keep your breath moving in and out through your nose. Return to dorsiflexion with that right ankle. And again, the right hand might press just gently. We're not forcing our body here. We're just inviting opening. So you might just kind of have the hand resting on your thigh. The left leg might come a little bit closer. So you might feel a little activation through your hips here too. It's not a completely passive stretch. Take another inhale and exhale. Land that left foot. Send your right leg up to the sky. I'm a big fan of giving the full shake out of the leg. We'll land the foot. And then hug the left knee into the chest. Extend your right leg long. Keep energy through the right leg so you're pressing through the right heel. Take an inhale. And on exhale, cross the left thigh over. Let your left knee land on the ground. So you might roll a little onto the right hip to make that happen. And then stretch the left arm up at a diagonal. Now your left arm likely will not come to the ground, might. But we'll float that arm there, getting a twist through your entire body from those left fingertips all the way down to your right toes. If it feels good, you could look back over the left shoulder. Don't worry if the arm doesn't touch the earth. Take another deep breath in and out. Release the left arm down. Hug the left knee in. Adjust your back to neutral. You can keep the right leg extended or bent, whatever feels better. Left hand to the outside of your left pinky toe, or maybe peace fingers around the left big toe, whatever feels good. We'll rock here in a half happy baby. So you're just drawing that left thigh out from your left side rib cage. A little rock, a little observation. How does the left hip feel today? How do the inner thighs show up? How does that left hamstring feel? And come back to center. Send the left leg up to the sky. Interlace your fingers around your left hamstring and then press the leg away. I know that sounds counterintuitive when we think of flexibility, but you're drawing the energy away from your torso. So if you were to let go, your leg come crashing down to the ground. We don't want that, of course, so you're going to keep your hands on the leg. Take an inhale. And then on exhale, soften that energy and see if the leg is a little bit more willing to come towards your torso. You might even walk your hands up to your calf a little here. Take another breath in and out. Release and let that left leg come to meet your right on the earth. Notice maybe the left leg feels an inch or two longer than the right. Breathe here and observe. And then take a pause. Adjust, energize through the left leg. Hug the right knee in. Squeeze that thigh in nice and tight. And then we'll roll onto the left side. Right leg, right knee comes down to touch the ground. Right arm comes up and out at a diagonal. So we're not straight up to the side, not straight up overhead, but more reaching across the body. Again, the right arm is unlikely to touch the ground, and that's perfectly fine. You can look over the right shoulder, getting a nice twist through your whole body, starting to open the fascial lines. Breathing here. Feeling where you could invite release, where there might be more surrender into your body. Full inhale. And exhale, soften the right arm down. Hug the knee back in. Adjust your body again. Find yourself in neutral, and then reach up for that right foot. Start to rock a little into your half happy baby on this side. So do whatever you need to do, right? It could be a little shift of where you're holding. You might not rock quite so much. In fact, just holding the shape might feel really good to you. So be with what makes sense. And then gently release. Interlace your hands around that hamstring and start to energetically press that right heel away. So there's energy through the whole back of your leg. Your knee is as straight as it's willing to be here. Of course, if the knee is bent, that's perfectly fine as well. We're just looking to target the hamstring here if possible. We'll take another breath in, pressing that leg away. And on your next natural exhale, soften that energy and see, will the leg come closer? Maybe you slide your hands up the calf. Not important, it's just for exploration here. Release. So start to let the right leg travel down to meet the left. When the right leg lands, hopefully your legs feel like they're roughly the same length again, because that's always good. Take an inhale. And exhale. Hug your knees into your chest. And we'll roll to our favorite side, coming all the way up onto all fours. Now, if you have blocks, that can be really useful here. If you don't have blocks, books work really well. Anything that might elevate your hands. If you have foam rollers, that could work. You could have your hands on foam rollers. So just know that some sort of lift away from the ground could come in handy. So we'll root into our hands here. And as we take our shoulders over our wrists, press into your fingertips. I like to imagine having like little tree frog fingertips, little suction cups here. Feel really strong through your core, and then take your right leg, tuck the toes, and press the heel back here. Stretching all the way from that right hip through that right heel, feeling opening maybe in the lower calf, that Achilles area. And then from this spot, could you maybe draw your shoulders behind your wrists a little if that feels good? Now, of course, if you don't need more sensation, you just stay where you're at. Take another inhale. And exhale. Bring shoulders over wrists again. Lift that right leg up. Take an inhale. On exhale, bring the right leg to the left side of your space. Start to look back over your left shoulder, getting a nice stretch through the outer right hip. Nice side body opening, breathing into the right side rib cage. Keeping that steady breath in and out through your nose. Full inhale. And then on exhale, if your right toes were tucked, untuck them and see how it would feel to send your right leg at a diagonal over to the left. Your forearms might come down to the ground. There's a nice opening through that left outer hip. Steady breath in. Steady breath out. Inhale back up and release the right knee down. Send the left toes back behind you. Press through that left heel. Steady breath in. Steady breath out. Energy all the way through that left heel. Notice if one calf feels tighter than the other. I find that to be true in my body. It's always interesting to explore the asymmetries that show up for us. On your next breath, shoulders over wrists, left leg lifts up. And then we'll take the left foot over to the right. Start to look over the right shoulder. Explore the opening through the left side. A little bit extra breath here into the left side rib cage. And then as you feel ready, we'll take the top of the left foot down. Travel that left foot over to the right. You might feel a fair amount of sensation, that right outer hip. It's important to be flexible so you can itch your head with your back paw. That's what Boston says. Take another breath. And come all the way back up. And then lower your knees down. From here, we'll tuck both sets of toes. Now, when you do this, you might feel a ton of sensation through the fascia in the bottom of the feet, and that's perfect, right? We're looking for a little opening here. That might be where you stay, or if it would feel okay, you could start to sink your hips towards your heels. Now, if that feels like a lot, you stay. If it does not feel like a lot, you might start to walk your hands in, right? So we're bringing the weight of our torso onto our heels, really opening, intensifying that stretch. And we'll take 5 breaths wherever you are. It's perfect if you're forward, it's perfect if you're upright, whatever shows up. You might even let your eyes close. Maybe right behind your eyebrow center, you could visualize something that brings you joy. Maybe it's something on the field. Maybe it's one of your favorite plays. See if you can see something in your mind's eye that makes the corners of your mouth start to curl up into a smile. Full breath in. And out, release. Walk your hands forward, pat out the tops of your feet. Whew, that was nice, right? We'll take one leg back and then the other. Step it back into downward facing dog. When you get to your first down dog, start to walk it out, bending one knee and then the other. And then pause in stillness. Notice if you're kind of collapsing to the earth. See if you can press the earth away. Energy pulls the heels down, but they do not have to touch the ground. Knees can be really soft here. If you find yourself trying to have straight legs, but everything's rounding in your back, have a nice bend in your knees. Ribs pull towards your hips. Strong core. Full inhale. And then on exhale, tiptoe your feet to the top of your space. When you arrive in a forward fold, let your knees bend a lot. Hang here. You could hold opposite elbows. You could sway a little bit if that feels good. And releasing hands down. Press strong into your feet. Bend your knees. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, hands come to heart. From here, we'll move a little bit more actively. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen your spine, and then step your left foot back behind you. Here is where those blocks or support could come in handy. Your hands can come onto support as you pull your heart forward in this lunge. And then on exhale, straighten that right leg, round over your leg. Inhale, bend into the knee, pull your heart forward, stretch through that left hip flexor, and then start to straighten back. Notice the hamstrings, calves, everywhere in between. Inhale, heart draws forward. Exhale, stretch it back. Once more, inhale, heart draws forward. Exhale, stretch back. We'll rebend into the knee. Slide the blocks off to the side, hands down, step back into downward facing dog. Take a moment here to walk it out if it feels good, or find stillness. Feel that strength through your shoulders, strength through your center. And then the left leg reaches up and back. Left foot steps forward, hands come back onto those blocks. We'll inhale, pull heart forward, and exhale, stretch it back. Inhale, heart pulls forward. Exhale, stretch it on back. Inhale, draw forward. Exhale, back. Observe if one side feels more open than the other. Notice if you tell your mind a story about what's going on in your body, or can you simply observe the sensations? Next time that left knee is bent, look forward, bend that back knee and spring forward into a fold. On your next breath in, slide your hands along your shins or your thighs. Draw your shoulder blades together on your back and lead with your heart connected to core. Full inhale. Exhale, fold it in. Bend your knees, arms stretch all the way up, and hands come to hearts. Inhale, arms stretch up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale for length. And then touch down, and we'll step our right foot back. Keep that right hand on a block or the earth, and we'll reach the left arm up, twisting here. Take an inhale. On exhale, take your hands to the inside of that left foot, and we'll walk down along the long side of the mat and start to come into Skandasana, which is a low lateral lunge. So you can be really lifted here, sliding side to side, or you can explore maybe a little bit more depth in the shape. Notice what feels good, what feels necessary. Pausing from side to side. And then start to make your way forward again, coming onto the ball of your right foot. And then let your right knee lower down. Untuck your right toes and inhale, bring your arms forward up into a low lunge or Anjaneyasana. There's a little squeeze of that right glute as you press your right hip flexor forward. Notice if you collapse in your core, can you pull your ribs down? Keep lifting up energetically away from the earth. Full inhale. And exhale, hands come down. Tuck the back toes and we'll step it back to downward facing dog. Feel that strength in your center. Imagine this is like an Etch-a-Sketch and you just kind of reset what you just felt here. Right leg reaches up. Right foot steps forward. We'll start with a runner's lunge shape. Left hand on the ground. Right arm reaches up. Finding that twist. Energy through your fingertips. Take another big breath in. And exhale, take your right hand down. And again, we'll travel side to side in that low lateral lunge. You might pause and open here. Notice what feels good, what feels necessary. And then we'll transition back to the front of our mats, coming onto the ball of that back foot. Take an inhale. On exhale, let your left knee lower. Crawl up, coming into our low lunge, Anjaneyasana, lifting arms up. That left glute engages here, energetically pressing the left hip flexors forward without collapsing toward the earth. So there's strength here in our opening. Full breath in and out. Hands come down. Tuck your back toes, look forward. Big step to the top of your space. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold it in. Inhale, arms sweep up. And hands come to hearts. We'll walk our feet as wide as our mat, and as we do, our toes will turn out a little bit here. Inhale, sweep arms up overhead. Exhale, bring your body down. We're going to come into a squat. Now, if this is what feels good, you'll rest elbows on your thighs and breathe. If you want, you could start to work your elbows to the insides of your knees, pressing your knees into your elbows, lifting your hips. What makes sense in your body? If you'd like, you could even take your hands to the ground and explore a little bit more movement here. And then with hands touching the earth, we'll lift up enough to bring our left shin back behind us. Our right foot will start to work to the right kind of outer edge of the mat. Now you can have blocks here if you'd like, underneath your left hand specifically. We'll see if we can take our right hand to our right thigh and kind of press forward as we twist a little bit here. We're opening through the front of that left thigh. And we'll stay here, especially if you're feeling a lot of sensation. Or you could bend that left knee, reach back and see if you could catch your left foot with your right hand, coming into a pretty significant quad stretch. If you move to this quad stretch and it's not feeling right, let it go, right? If your hamstring starts to cramp up or if it just feels like way too much, it's not worth it. Get that nice hip flexor stretch instead. You can have support underneath that left knee as well with a blanket or a towel. Take another inhale. And exhale, gently release. Straighten out your right leg and you can hop the right foot kind of right toward the middle of the mat. With hands on the earth or on blocks, we'll inhale, lengthen spine, and you might realize that you're not going very far forward, right? If you start to feel yourself collapse over that leg, see if you can lift up a little higher. We're looking for a straight leg and a neutral spine. If that feels good, great. You can always come forward a little if you'd like. Preferably your shoulders are roughly over your hands. We're not reaching way far out. Take another breath in and out. Now from here, this is a lot of sensation, so it might not be for you. So hear that. Our hands can come to the outside of our right foot. We could take our left hand and actually walk our right foot even more to the left. And we're looking to open the space in the outer right thigh. So kind of the area around the IT band. And you might come here and say, holy moly, that's a lot of sensation. You listen to that, right? If it's too much, return to that hamstring stretch. Take another inhale. And exhale. So we'll walk our hands back around that right foot. But this time, we'll bend the right knee. The right heel will draw in towards our groin and the right knee will come to the right wrist. We'll tuck the back toes and wiggle back just a little bit here, coming into a pigeon shape. But in this pigeon, what I'd love for you to do is keep the back toes tucked to start off and get a really active stretch through the front of the left thigh. Take an inhale. And then on exhale, if that left knee wants to land, you could. You could even untuck the left toes. We'll stay up for another breath. And then in the next 5 breaths, if you want to walk yourself down here, feel free. But feel how you're lifted instead of sinking to the ground. All right, you're lifting energetically up. If you have something you'd like to place under your right hip, you certainly could, or you could just use the activity of your muscles, the support of your hands or your forearms. Take another breath in and out. We'll start to roll to the outer right hip. And as you do, start to extend the right leg forward. The left knee will come back and out to the side, kind of like a hurdler stretch. And you can stay here. That might be plenty of sensation. Or if you'd like, you could start to walk back, opening up even more through that left hip, that left quad, and you might stretch your left arm up overhead. Take a steady breath in here. And then release the left hand down. Use your hands to draw your way back up. We'll take that left knee forward a little, so long as it feels good in your knee, and we'll bend into the right knee. Now, options. The right foot could rest on your inner left thigh, or the right foot could come onto your left thigh. So whatever feels good to you. And then we'll support our body with our right hand. The left arm will reach up, 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 and we'll gently twist. So the left hand finds that right thigh or knee, and we'll look over the right shoulder if it feels good. And gently look forward. Keep your right leg roughly as it is and see if you can send the left leg forward. The right foot will adjust and find the inner left thigh. Arms can stretch up and exhale, fold over that left leg. Don't worry about touching your feet. Your hands are wherever they feel good, right? In yoga, we work on not grasping, which is really good for our minds, especially if we tend toward that competitive mindset, that kind of type A mindset. It's really nice to find time on our mat to not force, to not try so hard. Take another inhale. And exhale, gently walk your way back up, bend into your left knee, and we can roll over our ankles or sweep our feet back behind us, and we'll come back into our downward facing dog. And then gently walk your toes up to the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold it in. Bend your knees, inhale, arms sweep. Exhale, hands come to hearts. We'll walk our feet wide again. With our feet as wide as the mat, toes out slightly, we'll inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, lower back into our version of yogic squat. Notice if the hips feel any more willing in the shape. And we'll lift up slightly, work the right shin back behind us. Left foot stays to that left corner of the mat, and we're drawing our hips forward here, creating more and more space. How would it feel to take a right hand on a block or keep it on the earth? left hand on that left thigh and just start to twist toward the left here, allowing opening through the right hip flexors. And then maybe we bend into the right knee and reach back for the foot. Getting into that right quad. You might find that this does not work for you and you don't reach for the foot, and that's perfect. So please honor that. Another deep breath. And we'll release that down, starting to heel toe that right foot to the middle of the mat, straightening out through the right leg. And then we'll come into that hamstring stretch. Again, our blocks might be super high here, lifting our chest. And if we're feeling sensation, that's where we stay. If we find that we need more sensation, you might lower the blocks a little. Staying in that hamstring stretch, or choosing to work your hands toward the outside of the leg, maybe helping the left foot to the right a little, finding even more sensation in that outer left thigh. Steady breath in. Steady breath out. We'll walk our hands back. And as you place your hands on the ground, we'll bend that left knee. So the left knee comes toward the left wrist and the left foot kind of comes toward your right groin. Right toes tuck. We'll breathe here for a moment, opening up through that right hip flexor area, but from a space of really active, strong right leg. And then allowing the right knee to lower down. Notice how this is showing up for you. You could untuck those right toes. Lifting up through your heart here if that feels okay. And then remember, you can support the left hip if you'd like with a blanket or a block. And then if it feels good, you can start to walk yourself forward. Again, we're active here through our hips. We're not just sinking everything to the ground. Take another big breath in. And then we'll roll to the left side. Now from here, we'll bend that right knee back, extend that left leg forward, and then we're in that kind of hurdler stretch or runner stretch, I've heard it called. And then we'll start to walk ourselves back or stay upright. As long as you're feeling sensation that right thigh, you're exactly where you ought to be. You could reach your right arm up and over to intensify the stretch all the way deep into your psoas. Taking another deep breath in and out, gently release, and then we'll lift back up. And as we do, we'll draw that right knee forward a little bit here and then start to bend the left knee. And we'll decide what works out for us, right? So again, that foot could be on the right thigh. It's not necessary though. Left hand back behind you. Right arm lifts up, 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 and then we take the right hand to the outside of the left knee or thigh. Twisting here. And then looking forward, unwinding. Try to keep your left leg as it is and extend the right leg forward. Left foot finds the inner right thigh, arms stretch up, and we'll fold it forward. Notice what shows up on this side. And Inviting that release, that opening through the back side of the right leg. Full inhale. And exhale. Gently walk your way back up. Extend both legs and give them a little wiggle. We'll bend into our knees, plant our hands back behind us, maybe on fingertips. Lift our heart, lift our chest, squeeze shoulder blades together on our back. If it feels good, you could plant your palms and lift your hips up into a reverse table, getting a stretch through the whole front side of our body, getting into our arms and shoulders here. Full inhale. And exhale, release. Draw your knees into your chest as you slowly roll onto your back. We'll catch either our big toes, the outsides of our feet, maybe our calves, and come into a happy baby shape. Press your sacrum, the base of your spine, down and forward here, lengthening through your spine. Take a big breath in. Observe how your body feels. And then choose. You might want to rock a little side to side or stay in stillness. Another deep breath in and out. Hug those knees in. And then start to release your body down. Let your legs stretch down. Let your arms reach out to the side. We'll come into our rest pose to Shavasana. Feel your breath start to soften a little bit here. Let it return to the normal pattern of your breath that you don't think about. Let your body feel heavy on the earth. Feel the support of the mat below you. Watch how your body gently relaxes from the soles of your feet up through the crown of your head. Consciously relaxing your muscles, relaxing the muscles of your feet, your ankles, your lower legs. Relax through your thighs, your hips, your glutes. Relaxing around your abdomen, your low back, your mid and upper back. Relax through your top chest, your shoulders. Let your upper arms feel heavy. Relax your lower arms, your wrists, your hands. Relax your neck and your throat. And soften the muscles of your jaw. Relax the muscles in your face. And allow your whole body to get heavy and feel rested here. Begin to invite movement back into your fingers, back into your toes. Start to circle out your ankles, circle out your wrists. And then stretch your arms up overhead. Take a full body breath in. And a big out your mouth. Draw your knees into your chest. Thank your body for all that it does for you. Roll to whichever side you'd like. And then use your hands to come all the way up to a seat. And when you arrive seated, bring your hands to your heart. Pause for a moment. Feel what your body feels like. Notice your energy. Notice where your mind is at. And bowing forehead to fingertips in gratitude. I wish you all abundant joy. Be well.